afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and riveting, amazing Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, Hit Off Sec, Defender of the Fatherland, of Hit 1 vs 1 on kholodny Ferma. In the west, we got Thunderhun fighting for the Wehrmacht, the German army, taking on the role here of the, let's just say, 1st Panzergrenadiers vs the east. We got the Pope fighting for the Soviet Union, Socialism, Comrade Stalin, and the 35th Guards Tank Corps. And we got here Storm Doctrine, Defensive and Mechanized Assault with Thunderhun, an interesting mix there with Infantry and Pioneer Bulletins, versus Pope's Urban Defense, Anti-Infantry and Guard Mode 2 with 1 Guards and double Mine Bulletins. So also an interesting mix there of doctrines for Pope. Double Conscripts versus Grenadiers, MG42s here for Thunderhun, moving out to secure this area for the Wehrmacht, as he has been ordered to launch a counterattack to free up the flank for a larger armoured offensive to throw the rations back slightly further away from Berlin. MG42 moving up towards the centre, and the North Grenadiers, Pioneers advancing here for Thunderhun. The Hun of Thunder. Conscripts heading northwards, 3rd Conscripts on the way there for Pope. All quiet here. Engineers using the fuel point, Conscripts moving in there. Slightly more shows the advanced capping order, moving straight for the point here that takes longer to cap, and then leaving another unit to grab the other point, which is a bit faster to rule seas. That where just sort of say timing things a bit better in a sense, or at least have potential better timings there. Points being seized, countering northwards. Grenadiers squad number 2 on the way there for Thunderhun. So far standard openings. Engineers heading southwards there for Pope. Thunderhun's machine gun in the centre, slightly aggressive, partially of course with some blind points here and there, which could result in the machine gun being routed even still in there if Thunderhun is losing sight there. We got barbed wire up here, not mines, but barbed wire to help slightly make it harder for a direct line here at the point. Sandbags up here. So far, mostly preparatory work from both players. They're looking to seize the map. Thunderhun has a very extended front line, as you might be noticing here, which is something Pope could theoretically take advantage of quite nicely. And there you go, machine gun's blind spot there, forcing it back away from the centre position, or probably up to back up the Grenadiers in the south. So in the south, we got Pope moving up the Conscript Engineers. He's probably realised the machines can be somewhere around there, possibly. North could, be taken here with a nice Conscript assault there from Pope, with a few Molotovs and harsh words at the Germans. But so far none of that. In fact, we got a swift retreat from the Engineers, likely indicating Pope is actually going to take up here fast. In which case, I would probably expect support and company and mortars to help deal with some of Thunderhun's dagging elements. Very quiet opening game, and there you go. Moving ahead, the MG42 sitting in the house, they're carrying the centre of North. Pioneers hunting up behind, expecting the countrymen to actually get within range of the Pioneers. In this case, one quite concerned still. Conscript moving away from the Pioneers, giving the Pioneers time to actually close in theory and do some damage. Theoretically, again, that slight bonus there could help them out a bit here up close versus the Conscripts. Maybe just enough, and there go Grenadiers arriving, allowing Thunderhun here to win the northern engagement. In the centre, though, Grenadiers launching up here. Pope's forces are actually the ones that are a bit scattered and suppressed, allowing Thunderhun to localise his forces to that way overwhelm Pope here, gaining the tactical edge. And there you go, it is the support company. Pope's going to have to go for a maximum, not just the mortar first, to help slow down Thunderhun's initial advance, unless Thunderhun decides to play this very cautiously and not extend towards the car point as fast as possible. You got more barbed wire up north, 3rd Grenadier squad out and take up there for Thunderhun, keeping up momentum here versus the Bolshevik Scourge. Up north, victory point being seized as he's wiring off. Conscript here can't last much longer. I mean, at this stage he's just basically stalling, trying to buy time. We got a mortar, we got the maximum. Very much was to be expected. Still no sign of doctrine here from Pope. And popping back in again, he is very much looking to buy time. That is a bit of a risky gambit here, but I can see the logic in it. But if he loses the conscripts, it's not going to be worth it. I think in the long run, there you go. He has to retreat now. But again, he was buying time here for the Flamethrower Engineers. That way, if the Grenadiers were too close again, they just take some heavy damage. So, really a risky gambit there. The Pope in this case worked out here versus Thunderhun. And the 1st Panzerdivision. Tech up done. Just going to have to treat the Pioneers, of course, to get the tech up. Maximum almost done there for Pope. Conscript rolling in. Mortar on the way for Thunderhun as well. Probably figured, A, it's either going to be nice, or he might have sensed his opponent's going to go for the support company. I mean, he saw only 3 conscripts, not a lot else. Usually some sort of time interval can indicate something happening. Oh, scheisse. If he's realised, or at least I thought about it, he's not reacting very well to it in one sense. Also, great stuff for the flamethrower, by the way. Some flamethrowers are AoE weapons, so in that regard, bunching up versus flamethrowers is actually a bad idea. In this case, he's kind of lucky. The mortar's firing the machine gun and say wasn't able to fire down all these grenadiers because, I mean, that was just begging to get mortared, to be honest. Machine gun is going to have to fall back in the face of the Pope's mortar. Hammering away there. But it's going to take counter mortar fire there from Thunderhun. This Granatenwerfer launching its deadly payload at Pope's mortar chaps. Quick rifle grenade off here from Thunderhun against Pope's conscripts. Back engineers reinforcing, well he should be. Might also want to check up soonish and get up some light vehicles here versus Thunderhun. Thunderhun yet to get up that like to make a nice company, so unless he's planning on a tier 3 rush, which would be interesting, he probably should get up with that like to make a nice company soon. He's going to get buried just a tad. Console sitting out there for Pope. Mortar opening up here for Pope as well. Anti-tank grenades on the way. Bunker up. Conscripts in Norfords. Medics on the way there as well for Pope. Very good, very good. Maximum I feel like could be a bit more active there for Pope, being a bit too passive there. And up north, halted here by something, but... Oh, that was the machine gun? Huh. Must have been something going on there. By the way. Reinforcements, healing. Mines up here, good spot there. Like to make a nice company for Thunderhun. We'll have to see what he follows up with the next. Flamethrower after could be quite an asset, they doesn't have munitions. Panzergrenadiers would also think be quite solid, particularly knows how to use them. And of course there's also the potential pack there to see off any light vehicles there that Pope might decide to lob at him. Still, Pope's got a control here of all 3 victory points bleeding out his opponent. He could try and threaten the fuel point a bit more. Or at least use the maximum a bit more actively. I mean, generally I would say good machine gun usage is really critical if you actually decide to get them. Thunderhun here going for the 2-2, also a good option. Also a good option. But we'll have to see how Thunderhun decides to break this situation. I mean, the south is quite open, so sending in troops there to sort of cut that up and force Pope to either accept the losses or threatening his fuel point or dispatch forces is a good idea. I still feel like he's using that maximum to, you know, passively. I mean, shows carrying the centre victory point, but continue what else he's holding. I feel like that's a bit, not tactically enough worth it. 2-2 out here for Thunderhun. Pope's got no anti-tank weapons as of yet, except the anti-tank grenades. So Zops are ready for that. He's also got Molotovs up. Maximum getting more to fall back. Machine gun dealing with the conscript. We got those squad moving in. That's going to get off an anti-tank grenade here on the 2-2-2. No sign of doctrine here from either side as of yet. Now the 35th Guards tank corps or 1st Panzer Division has yet to go anywhere there. Maximum almost taken out here though by Thunderhun's mighty mortar. And there we go. Pope ends up here with motor coordination tactics. Heading northwards here. We got the conscript inside here. Carrying the munitions. Certainly ensuring that Pope's got a lot of munitions for mines and what else he wants. Which is not bad really. And it is moving northwards, so modifying the right places could do a lot of harm there to Thunderhun. And there you go, first guard squad out. It's going to probably pop some DP light machine guns to deal with the fascists. The DP light machine gun was a very rugged light machine gun, but in many other ways probably not a very good one from what I hear. But could apparently take a lot of abuse. Troops are healing reinforcing. Surprised he's not immediately as soon as possible just adding the DP light machine guns, because it's a very solid upgrade for the guards and allows to take on a lot of things with a lot of firepower. And there you go, Thunderhun following up with the Panzergrenadier with the Sturmgewehr 44. Smoke screen off here, and I believe it is one from Thunderhun to carry up an advance in the centre. Excellent tactical approach there. Excellent. Wunderbar. Good. Conscripts Pioneers in the south by the munitions point here. Grenadiers being routed by a nice grenade. And we see a full wipe. Absolutely amazing grenade here from Pope. And finally also realises, oh, hang on, I haven't upgraded my guardsmen with the excellent DP light machine guns. Conscripts there. Almost wiped Pioneers. Really close shave here so far. The Pope is really hitting hard here against Thunderhun. Of course, the Panzers could route here things further back in favour of him. Rifle grenade hurts the guardsmen, but doesn't critically do anything there. Panzer Grenadier advancing. The assault rifles ready to hose down some rations. Good German led. Actually, this is brass from Romania. Shut up, Fritz. No one likes you for that. Engineers versus the Panzergrenadiers. Maxim needs to fall back. And over here, healing reinforcement for Pope. One option he could use is, well, if he had to, could merge the console with a guardsman, not something a lot of players do. And we got Mechanized Assault from Thunderhun. Do we get Assault from these? Do we get the Mechanized Assault group? We'll have to see here what comes from Thunderhun, perhaps they're hiding out. Note, most Panzergrenadiers were actually not equipped heavily with assault rifles. That was actually something that first happened in the Panzer Brigade, sort of a new idea, sort of an armoured formation, or more than emergency armoured formation, and later caught on to the rest of the Panzergrenadiers sort of formations. They would have normally then been equipped, you know, with a lot of rifles and light machine guns. And even then, you know, when they began switching into this, there'll be no units sort of act as backup, equipped heavily with light machines, that way acting as a line unit. A little fun fact in terms of organisation and tactics. Maximum the 2-2 mortar takes directly here from Thunderhun's mortar. That one is really doing a great work here for Thunderhun. 7 kills so far, close to actually 2. Also very good, they're barraging there. Of course, so is Pope. He's just not having as much luck. There we go, gets killed on the enemy mortar. Guardsmen cancel out the church, but they're already low on health. And the 2-2 that goes down, so that's definitely excellent here for Pope. That's another good hill here versus Thunderhun. The Thunderhun is going to be an obnoxious and tenacious opponent. And he's actually going for 2 Panzergrenadier squads, and that's excellent. Clearly Thunderhun is a man of culture here. Understanding how Panzergrenadiers are actually good, and if you know how to use them, you can actually reap some good rewards. So 2 Panzergrenadier squads is actually quite a challenge here for Pope. In particular, Thunderhun is really good with them because they can lay down a lot of fire, and they're also good for supporting armoured assaults due to their ability to fire and move quite excellently. And the bomb grenades are also quite helpful for that purpose. And they become even better if you do go for German infantry and add, you know, the support package. Anyways, we can see that Pope is moving straight onto the Mechanized Armour Company, trying to, you know, ride the initial high he's got there to push out the T-35 as fast as possible, which is 76 versus Thunderhun. Not a bad idea. Fast T-34 from 6 right now, in fact, would be a bit of a problem for Thunderhun. He has them tagged up. He has no Pack 40, so T-34 right now, I mean, even its fast T-7 could be quite disastrous to Thunderhun. So I like the idea there from Pope. He's probably not aware of what Thunderhun is planning, but, you know, it's not a bad idea. Though, of course, it would have probably been a bit better than, you know, consistently harassing his opponent's fuel. Either way, though, fast T-34 from 6 is a strong move of thinking again at the moment. I mean, 12 to 30 minute T-34 from 6 as an opponent probably doesn't have anything there. He's really potent, can really roll them over. Maxim coming up. You still feel like he should be a bit more active with his Maxim. Thunderhun could also stand to be a bit more active with his MG42, but, you know, he's using 2 Panzergrenadier squads, so I'm willing to cut him some slack there. I'm willing to cut him some slack. Grenadiers caught up on the Maxim. Back here, reinforcement up north. We got an assault team here from Pope Gaster backed up with flamethrower engineers. They're ready to flush out the fascists. Another grenade, and this time not getting a wipe on Thunderhun for once. Just 1 grenade. Which would have been a bit disastrous there for Thunderhun that happened. Pope needs to be mindful. Maxim they're routed. Panzergrenadier moving forwards. 1 kill so far. But they are close to Veterans U1, which does make them harder to kill, which is always a plus. Guns there do not stand a chance on the right. There you go. Veterans U1, 4 kills on those Panzergrenadier. Points there being secured. Back here, troops in reinforcing. Same here. Also, another thing that probably would help make Panzergrenadiers stand out from other infantry was usually Panzergrenadiers were chosen from a high, so say, grade of infantry. The Germans had a system for grading troops and would, you know, send off the best troops to the best units in that sense. That way also helping, you know, keeping up quality. It's a little sort of additional side note then, German organisation and structuring. Heavy mortar out here for Pope, so he's basically deciding, you know, he's going to bring in more artillery and try to bring Thunderhun to his knees alongside the Third Reich. Passes up nose to the Guardsman. That's not really, I think, a failed engagement with the flamethrowers from the north. Nice move there by Pope. He's certainly also, I think, focusing very hard on the victory points, and also very importantly, while he's kept the Maxim around his head, I think at times it's uncomfortable too long. He's very good at hitting the rest of the map, though, which is definitely a good skill to have. as it is, I would say, a common mistake to just focus in the center and then ignore the rest of the map at times. But Pope here, I think, has been playing a very solid game then, focusing very aggressively on the victory points. Bleeding out his opponent, could stand to do more of the fuel, but victory points are not a bad idea either. I mean, this one just doing something consistent rather than just, gouging out your own eyes over the center victory point. You're doing decently. We've got a Stuttgart here for Thunderhun, calling in some support there. The Sturmgeschütz 3 Ausführung E. Ready to blast apart some Russian swine. A multi to the front line to back up the other multi, which also now very soon. And we got flares. Hello, nurse. You do not see that one very often. At least I don't see it too often, unless it's used against me, in which case surprisingly often. Ha ha ha. But it's actually a pretty handy ability when being able to. Oh, cancel apparently. It is a bit of weird ability times. It looks like he was actually going straight for the T-3035. Takes a bit longer, but on the other hand, of course, works much better as the Panzer IV. That's like what you want to assume. Your opponent's going for the Panzer IV. In this case, though, Thunderhun increasing his stance to look like he's stalling for the Tiger tank, but still, a reasonably fast out T-3035 is going to be a challenge there for Thunderhun, and could very well end up punishing him severely for trying a Tiger stall. But yeah. Double mortars unleashing Hellion Thunderhun, probably trying to silence his mortar, and almost got it. That was a really close one there against Thunderhun. On the other hand, Pope is losing ground here a bit fast against Thunderhun and is advancing Panzer Armee. Studio rolling around, and there you go. We got the T-3485. Good God! For some reason, that suddenly became a bit of a tongue tripper for some reason. But either way, T-3485 out here for DaPope and the 35th Guards Tank Corps. Maximum the south being overwhelmed by German infantry. Probably should retreat and run rather than aiming for a heroic last stand. Heavy mortar round almost snuffs out the Grenadiers Corps there, but not quite. People on the north is there going to the machine gun, gunning down the machine guns and main gun. Pope so far going for a very Russian-esque or Soviet-style assault here, which is the tank rushes far ahead of the infantry, ensuring if they get separated, the infantry is fudged and then the tank is fudged, which was sort of a very common occurrence. In fact, something the Germans recently exploited consistently. Second pack falling away for Thunderhun. That's definitely a Tiger tank stall. If you go for double pack 40s in a situation like this, you're stalling, and if Pope sees this, he should probably be able to reasonably safely assume his opponent's stalling. Artillery calling on the church, so we got two abilities out the doctrine so far, none too shabby, though I would like to see some early assault and use the Mechanised Assault, which, again, with the machine gun and all that, the improvements to the 250 half-tick is actually kind of good. It does get a bit overlooked, but it is good. There he goes, running after the Stugi. I feel like he's extending here. Okay, that's a bit of a mistake. He basically still stopped something from the pack 40. Could have risked taking more hits. He could have just driven past the pack and just shot the Stugi and finished it off. So that felt a bit more. There you go, getting Panther faster. Needs allowed to shoot an infantry. There we go. Got the mortars hammering away here in the service of the motherland. Victory points wise, Pope still got a lead over Thunderhun and the 1st Panzer Division of North Panzergrenadiers ripping apart the counters there with accurate assault rifle fire. Close there to veterans. Oh, pop goes that weasel. Bit of loss there for Pope. Should probably get out some replacements. Getting out some more guardsmen for that, for some reason, would not be a bad idea. Also, he should be laying down a lot on mines. I mean, his munitions control has been impeccable, so in flooding that much munitions, I mean, he could have been laying down mines, booby traps, even tripwire flares, just anything to slow down his opponent. But at least using the cruiser for repairs is a good idea. I've seen some players with floating a lot of munitions don't even use that ability. I mean, when you got that much munitions and you're earning more munitions than it costs yourself a pen a minute, you can pop it pretty liberally. Stugi being fixed, Thunderhun is slowly approaching the Tiger tank here. Pope can soon go for another T-35, at which point he can begin really giving Thunderhun a hard time. Even double pack 40s, particularly, he's got an idea where the pack 40s is, he can then sort of begin smoking them out with his double mortars, rather rendering them ineffectual. But right now, Pope finds a bit on the defense against Thunderhun. The infantry losses are not helping him out a lot. T-35, 85 sits out there. T-34, 85. Stugi there. Oh, Panny's looking out with mortar. T-34, 85, setting southwards. Because they're being wiped out. The Germans actually commonly call the T-34, 85 for the T-43. For some reason, probably because they thought that was sort of what it was called. So, little fun side note there as well. There we go. Stugi moves into line 5. T-34 actually bounces off the armour. Katyusha there on the way. Panzergrenadiers there taking a nice hit from the T-34 and getting routed. Katyusha, yeah, I feel like Pope is investing too much in artillery at the moment. Considering Thunderhun's playstyle, it can be a bit of a trap. I would say some players can fall into the end of investing into artillery while not preparing enough for tanks. I mean, right now he's got 2 mortars and a Katyusha. I mean, I feel like that's Pope going a bit too far there. Definitely feel. I mean, to an extent I can understand it, but still it feels like an overcommitment he bit off just for the more tanks, to be honest. But we'll have to see. Now, could be proven wrong. It's just that's not what I'd be recommending. Telemines down there by Thunderhun to cut off any armoured assaults and exploitation attempts. Very nice work there by Thunderhun. Katyusha moving up with BM-13. There were numerous versions of the Katyusha, some firing much larger rockets. There we go. It's direct hit. Takes out the mortar finally. Snuffs out the crew like a candle in a storm. So that pretty much means Thunderhun is down to 0 artillery. Concentrating northwards. Of course, he can recruit, but even then that's eventually 3 mortar crew down. That's gonna be a bit tricky to get back again. Whereas Pope still got his 2 mortars, including eventually 2-1. There you go. Panzer will take mountain losses there from the heavy mortar. Using the northern lecture point again. Pope could still do with more infantry. Machine gun there being used to actively contest the northern point there by shooting at the Russians trying to seize it. I'd be just shooting them. I wouldn't call this contesting, Heinz. Shut up, Fritz. There you go. We've got buttoning up here on the Stugi. These might of course are Pack 40. Scouts and thing with the Panzer were close, but they couldn't get hit with a bomb grenade. Mark Bigler in the Stugi, he's really intent on killing it. It's actually done quite well there, by the way, for... oh, Garsman went down. That's actually a huge blow there to Pope. I mean, even if he gets a Stugi, he's just lost a guard squad, and he just hit a telemine. He's not getting that Stugi. So there you go, lost a guard squad, lost a T-35 to take out the Sturmgeschütz Ausführung E. That's definitely a bad loss there for Pope. And that actually means the Tiger tank, which is likely about to hit any moment now, is going to have really fertile ground for ruining Pope's day. He's going to need to bring up field guns. And he still needs more infantry. But there you go. Thunderhun calling in the Tiger tank here. Big 2 points wise, Pope still got the lead over Thunderhun. But yeah, that was an uncomfortably bad call there for Pope. Taking out the second mortar. Gravy. But that's not a Tiger tank he's taking out with the Katyusha, and he can't really, so... The question is, how does Pope react once the Tiger begins hammering away at him? Because he saw no tanks after the Stugi, and again he saw Stugi, so he should have been rather figuring there's a high potential there. I mean, defensive doctrine does also have the Stugi now, but when you also then saw the light artillery barrage, at least it should have been reasonably obvious there's a Tiger tank inbound. Or even if you assume for some reason still it was defensive, or Panther would have also been a likely thing to happen, or Sturmpanzers, or you know, something that sort of helped deal with armor a bit more consistent than the Katyusha would probably be a really good idea. Still, Pope's out here against the fascists here. His men they're being absolutely torn apart here, but the Tiger tank backed up below some engineers, snuffed out, stomped out. Panzergrenadiers off the T-35 here. Mark Bigler in the Tiger tank, but the T-35 is getting punished harshly by Thunderhun and the 1st Panzer Division. Back here we got healing enforcement going there for Pope. Need to escape with that T-55. We got the Stugi moving in here close to Veteran 2. Right now, Pope is in a very uncomfortable position. He's going for the field gun here, the SIS-3, to help deal with all the German armor. That's a really good idea. Stugi obliterates a Hasta to deny Pope here a point for which to fight Thunderhun from. One Panzergrenadier squad there close to Veteran 3. T-55 is going to have to pop self-repairs because right now Pope's got nothing else to repair with, having lost the engineers to the Tiger tank. So there you go, SIS-3 field gun arriving here for me. Got this Stugi moving into the base looking to harass Pope. A sneaky little move there. Thunderhun could be a bit more active on the south, but he's probably worried about mines here from Pope and probably won't rush anything. Rushing the Stugi, field gun, that's a nice hit. We got Vetchi 2 off there. Looks like he just can't quite seem to line off the anti-tank rifle, or the anti-tank grenade, not anti-tank rifle grenade, to damage its engine. T-55 still needs to pop self-repairs as fast as possible. Tiger tank remains here as a self-propelled bunker in the center. It seems there you go. Mine goes off in the Grenadiers as Thunderhun treks southwards. T-54 still needs those. There we go. Self-repairs on the way. Engineers as well there for Pope. You'll probably need a tank destroyer to help deal with the Tiger tank. As for Thunderhun, he should probably be doing something with that tank. I mean, he has taken up, but you know, more armor to back up the Tiger tank would be a really strong idea. CoH2 flying away, and absolutely excellent barrage. He almost takes out the entire Panzergrenadier squad with a few well-placed rockets. We got Mark Beak, we got a tank grenade, we got the field gun shooting here. Sadly, not quite the excellent timing here that Puppet hoped for. Several shots bouncing off there. T-55 is almost good to go. Maximum carrying out the field gun. We got heavy fire on the SIS-3, artillery fire, Tiger fire, Stugi fire. Thunderhun wants that SIS-3 silenced. Oh, he actually called it in on the Maxim nearby. Clever. Assuming his opponent's focus would be on the field gun, he was actually able to sneak in an artillery strike on the Maxim. Clever. Very clever. I'm sure Thunderhun would make an excellent magician as well, since that involves, of course, a lot of misdirection as well. Using your opponent's attention. SIS-3 there, opening up. He's again focusing on the Tiger tank, allowing the Stugi to blast out the field gun at a reasonably close range. I definitely feel like that's another case of misprioritization here by Pope. Still, he's very slowly routing Thunderhun, but the casualties are nonetheless rather critical. Maxim is now entirely lost to him for all time and eternity. CoH2 almost good to go again. Up north, machine gun remains a stalwart sentinel of the northern victory point. So what's Pope's going to do now? I mean, he's doing some damage here to Thunderhun. The problem is Thunderhun sort of, a lot of the time, ending up doing more. Pioneers assist Thunderhun. Very good move there. Pope's, I think, really going to need a tank destroyer. And then maybe just regular T-54 from 6 added down to infantry. And he still needs more infantry. It's not really helping Pope here a lot. To only have 2 counter squads to bag everything he's got up. Southern fuel lost. T-54 from northwards. Thunderhun, by the note, has shifted his machine gun since the last time, so that way keep Pope guessing as to where it actually is, so he can't just, take another path slightly different and just outmaneuver it. That's a really good move there by Thunderhun, of course. It doesn't help versus a tank, but imagine if Pope hadn't sent a tank but just sent more infantry. This would have been an absolutely amazing move. Unless Pope, for some reason, foresaw that, of course, further countered around. But otherwise, good move, as long as your opponent doesn't go for tanks, so some also sees through that one. Anyways, issued 5 mode that Pope to help deal with the Tiger tank, and the issued 5 very much was expected. He still needs more infantry, though. And Thunderhun needs to, I think, back up the Tiger. I mean, there's a theoretical option, of course, he just only needs the Tiger and get away with that. But realistically, you kind of don't want to just bet on that. Right here from the northern victory point, it's now actually Thunderhun's time to have lead over Pope. Pretty much as soon as a mine there dealt with it. Good work. And Sergei there blown to bits by the Tiger. Very common spot where it's a lane of mine down there, and suddenly he's been lining up all those edges, so not only that it's hardly, bad assumptions, you see that bit. Punches there routed by the T-55, closing in on Veteran C 1. So there you got the H-85 tank destroyer out. It was supposed to be replaced by the Issue 100, but the Issue 100 took so long to build, it actually took some time to get out of there. It also actually came down, I think, to part of the gun, which is too big for the chassis. Even when they actually extended the H-85's chassis to make it long enough to fit in the gun, it was still too long. But there you go, H-85 in front of, or Stoogie in front of the H-85 field gun. There's a good chance they've seen their Stoogie going down, and nope. Bit too fast. We got the Tiger tank getting shot at there through the hedges, trying to escape here. And doesn't quite keep up line of sight. The H-85, the Lancer penetrating hit, they're piercing the Tiger tank's 100mm thick armor. Halfway to Veteran 1 then the H-85 tank destroyer. No, the H-85 tank destroyer. Most of the Russian tank destroyers were actually inspired by the German Stoogie, which they were actually, or the Stug 3, which they're actually incredibly impressed by. Fun fact. In fact, they're so impressed by it, and when they captured a load of Panzer IIIs in Stalingrad, well, after the Battle of Stalingrad, they actually converted them to sort of their own version of the Stug, which is called the Stug 76I or something. I can't quite remember. Little fun fact there. More guards not there for Pope. A bit late, but still more infantry's been there. Oh! Of course, Canada knows where this, thanks to the Mark vehicle, and there's going to Katyusha barraging it. Sounded the barrage went a bit too far, but those Pioneers got down there. Been a huge blow to Thunderhun, who has finally built up a support corps. Can go for some tanks, very good. Raffinet here on the mortar. From these one forward to the Thunderhun. Worth noting he is actually not upgrading a single gun. It is called light machine guns. Yeah, could have done that, I think, but all right. Katyusha with 9 kills, Veterans 1, T-55 there, getting out some good kills as well. Pack 40 going for the T-55, needs to get out of there. And Panzergrenadiers pack there being routed from the centre. Pope is fighting his best here versus Thunderhun, but is enough Tiger tank heavily damaged. 16 kills though. Still moving ahead. He's taking a few risks there, having a good idea, of course, where the tanks are thanks to his grenadiers. He knows he can actually afford to sneak ahead here to fire off some fat 8800 rounds against the conscripts. Holy smokes, there we go. Almost wiped the entire conscript squad. And Mortar finishes off the last one there. Pope needs to be careful of his infantry. He has seemed to struggle a bit here with infantry preservation throughout this fight versus Thunderhun. Of course, that's something Thunderhun has been, I imagine, very pleased about. Need to retreat here right and now. Oh dear, those scouts are not going to make it back home, are they? I suspect Pope here is starting to get a bit stressed out. Might be a tad tilted. Which is causing him to make some rather bad calls as frustration sets in. Katyusha there, it's falling back, and shouldn't find another barrage. T-55, they'll come move in. Pope's going to have to replace more infantry losses, of course. Again, 2 infantry squads is rather insufficient as the Russians. In general, it's insufficient for any army, in my opinion. Got the T-55 moving in, half 8 to Veteran 2. Katyusha ready to fire. Of course, the question is, does he have any targets to fire on? Pack 4's moving up there. That would be a really good target for the Katyusha to try and catch. We need to get that T-55 out there before the packs there silence it. There you go, Katyusha rockets. Really bunched up Pack 4. So if one rocket lands, or even a couple of rockets land well, that could be devastating here for Thunderhun. But in this case, oh, close one there. Really bad luck there for Pope on that one. And there we go. One pack released is dead. But Thunderhun still remains in a strong position. Pope is doing what he can, but the question, of course, is it enough? Panzer on the way to the Thunderhun. Panzergrenadiers 4. Still reinforcing, T-55 being repaired, guards moving out there. Mortars being hauled forwards, field gun as well, southern victory point being seized. Panzer 4 halfway down there for Thunderhun and the 1st Panzer Division. Got the Stoogie moving up, closing in on the ace level. Guards getting bombarded, Sis-3 setting up here, and it's coming up, there it goes, shots fired. Tiger tank shooting, taking direct hits. More shots fired. Field gun almost being taken up with the artillery. Nice push by Thunderhun. Could do with more infantry to back up the Tiger. In this regard, there's a bit of potential risk here. There we go. Gets a damaged engine. Nice start in front of the HE5. T for moving in as well there. If you get off, if you have munitions from Mark Vehicle, that'd be really it. Almost got the Tiger tank. Need to get the HE5 to keep pace here. Gonna do this kind of Panther Faust. Get the HE5 forwards, Pope. Forwards. Oh, I know what you're saying. Ration for forwards. But anyways, Tiger tank eventually to almost got there. He could have had the HE. Oh, there we go. Got the Tiger tank. Quite a blow there to Thunderhun. He's almost got the munitions of fuel for another one. He's almost got the manpower. So he could probably replace him still. Getting rid of the Tiger is going to help their Pope a bit, particularly since he's not an otherwise experienced Tiger tank there to Thunderhun. I mean, eventually 2 Tiger tank is an absolute nightmare for infantry. I mean, not exactly a pleasant experience for any armor either, since it can outrange them and is really accurate. And of course, it then means it can actually move towards 53, which is of course really bad news for any non-German. Oh, the T5 being caught. There's prepared. He's getting 5 summons into support. Guardsman flanking up. There you go, direct hit, Veggie 2 on the HE5, very good. Versus, oh no, he's range, within range, and the Panzergrenadiers takes it out here. Oh, niet, Verkabelt. Field the crude. Down there trying to do something, but it's not enough. Stugi hammering away there, ace level by the way, 19 kills. Smoke's going off here. I think on the Panzer IV? Yup. In this case, it's Thunderhun, I think, basically trying to cover up against any sort of shenanigans here. Artillery called in on the heavy mortar. Interesting move there by Thunderhun. There you go, trying to escape, but they're going to tank when it goes off nonetheless. Can he finish it off with the field gun? No, the field gun's still firing at the other point, so it doesn't quite follow. Katyusha's ready to fire again here for Pope. T5 is still being repaired. I mean, he could have any time counseled just to fight the Panzer IV up close and probably finish it off there, but seems like Pope just decided not to do it. So that's a missed opportunity as well there. Again, I suspect he might be a bit stressed out here by the relentless, furious assaults here Thunder, and they've got an 8th Panzergrenadier squad. They're mowing its way through Pope's increasingly thinning and receding front lines. So there you go. Second Tiger tank out here for Thunderhun. Grenade off against the Panzergrenadier, mortar fire raining down. The Panzergrenadiers cannot, and they just shred the guardsmen. But Pope's T5 is back in action, halfway to the ace level. But he's down to 27 points here. Thunderhun is in control. The German army is in control. Also, I remember it. Big thanks to Florin for upgrading his pledge on Patreon. Big thanks to you, Florin. True hero of the Propagandacast. Units are being pinned down by the MG42. Got the T5 moving in. He's going to gun them down. There you go. Jürgen annihilated. Hans follows after him. Fritz the next. And will little Dietrich also join them all? Got the Tiger tank moving in here. Nice hit from the T5 there. But in the end, it is too late. It is game over here for Pope. A victory for the German army. A victory for the Reich. A loss for Pope, a loss here, and possibly a small trip to the gulags. I mean, overall, Pope had some good moves here and there. The problem was just in some ways he struggled with the infantry, and infantry is actually surprisingly crucial at times. And additionally, while the Katyusha did well at times, I feel like you should have gone for another tank first. I mean, as the Russians, you kind of want more than one tank. Generally, within the army, you kind of want more than one tank, but with the Russians in particular, it's kind of crucial to sort of build up any sort of, armoured mass. And in that regard, I feel like you should have just committed to either more T-35s and just a lot of T-34s from the 6s. Out of those two, I think would have put Thunder into a much more awkward situation, stalling for the Tiger tank, particularly when he had 2 mortars. I mean, that's really where the Katyusha just doesn't make sense. He had 2 mortars, so why commit to the Katyusha? I feel like that was sort of the fatal error there by Pope. He committed to too much artillery and not enough tanks. I think how Pope, distributed his that way composition better, I think it would be a much bigger threat to Thunder and probably could have won this more easily. That and kept his infantry alive better. Thunderhun, great use of Panzergrenadiers against Oleg unit, but he really just has shut them off quite well. Nicely the Tiger tank, risky storm in this case worked out, but again, versus I think a more driven circuit player that could have left Thunderhun rather exposed and with his leader hosing down his ankles, so a bit risky there. And also I think too late to bring up more armor to back it up. That was also a bit of a flaw, but still otherwise good play though. Thunderhun, good use of smoke, good use of his tanks, good unit preservation, and of course nice uses in Panzergrenadiers. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment, tell your friends, tell your family, but don't tell your enemies. This is Imperial Engine. Cheers. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you all tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.